Spawning the bottom half of Polar Knight, the blue Zerg player representing the Exiles. His name is Pig. His opponent up in the top half of the map, opening up with a gateway this time around, just fell to the war in the war of attrition. Or as Roddy might say it, the war of nutrition. Axiom Esports Crank.
The war of nutrition has affected us all, man. We can see that in definitely in America.
Fake cannon rush this time. We'll see if Crank can bait Pig into overreacting and pulling a bunch of drones, and the answer is yes. 4 drones will come down. That pylon's just going to be canceled. Ultimately, trading some mining time for the 33 minerals of a canceled pylon.
25.
25. Why did I say 33?
You thought it was the 3rd. It's a 4th. I didn't remember if it was a 3rd or a 4th, honestly.
Yeah.
So. Pretty standard, Ben. We're all human.
And I'm exceptional at math. Maybe I just thought 33 was a 4th of 100.
It could be. Could be. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Because I know, you have this facade of saying, I'm terrible at math, but in reality, you're like 7th grade level. That's like, I think that's higher than the average. Now, the average of the viewers
world.
watching, yeah, the average of the viewers watching, maybe not average of them.
Yeah.
But anyway, what would you like a point on, by the way?
You lost last time, homie.
It's, well, oh yeah, I did. It's 11-8. 11-8, yeah.
Something like that.
Okay, let's do...
While you figure it out, I will point out that expansion is finishing up right now for Crank. Pig has just planted his 3rd base and is getting his Zergling speed out, so this is shaping up to be a pretty standard looking ZVP on this map with the... Oh, this is a great micro from Pig.
Okay, I got it. At the end of the game, under or over 9 gateways. 9 is a push.
I'm going to go with under.
Under 9 gateways.
Yeah, under 9.
There you go.
I don't even know if Crank had 9 gateways in that last game. That went over 40 minutes.
I don't know either. I don't think so.
So I feel pretty confident in the under there. Cute little wall here by Crank. You saw him check it with the probe. He sent it back up just to make sure it couldn't sneak through. And it cannot. Gateway Zealot. And this probe also can't get out.
You can if he mines past him. Then I'll phase through him.
You know one of my biggest pet peeves in StarCraft 2?
I'm listening.
The fact that Pig, say we're on the Pig cam right now, could take a drone, right-click on this mineral patch, and clip through the Zealot here.
Yeah.
In Brood War, the only way you could do that is if you got vision of that mineral patch with something like an Overlord.
Yeah. And
I feel like that is much better than what we have
back in
currently.
Brood War, actually, before they had to patch that. Because there was, if you didn't have vision of it, and you just had like a fog of war on it, you could still pass through it. And then also move the Zealot that was there. In StarCraft 2 now, you can't move the Zealot.
Yeah.
If it's in hold position, it's in hold position.
I think you should have to have vision to click on these minerals. That's what I think.
Okay.
And for a long time, that's what I thought. I sacrificed many an Overlord to get vision inside of an opponent's base, back in the days of 3-gate expand, when a Zealot would block the ramp.
Oh. Okay. Lots
Poor
of
me
overlaps
indeed.
then.
So Stargate opening for Crank. He's going to follow it up with a Forge. What does that mean?
Very standard play, I would say. This is just regular Phoenix opening. It's like the Forge Fast expansion where we go Stargate Robo, except it's a Gateway Fast expansion. You still want to get that +1 weapons attack. Obviously, that's a very, very important upgrade. But it could also be transitions into some 2-base all-in. We've seen that before. You get the +1. You get Immortals directly after this, and you don't go for the Robo Bay. That'll be the telling thing. Do we see a Robo Bay or not? No Robo Bay.
Not yet. Do we see an Immortal or not?
I don't see anything.
Is this Robo going to do anything?
Stop toying with our emotions.
Over under on building a unit.
Robo Bay. Boom. Cancelled Robo Bay. Boom. Robo Bay. Boom.
Didn't like it at the front, where it could be easily scouted. Crank wanted to tuck it away in the back.
That's
So
right.
there will be Colossi in this game.
And the fact that there are no Immortals actually tells me that there's not going to be an all-in. That sounds kind of crazy, because it's like, well, yeah, you're saving up for just the Colossus. But no, if you're going to do an all-in, you want to be brutally efficient with all of your production structures, everything that you use. So you want to get those Immortals. You want to get, and you want to use that Robo Bay as much as possible, because those are the money units. But that's not the case. We're just going to see Colossus into a very delayed, not delayed, but very standard macro game.
Andre, we were praising Tudming earlier for his insistence on making 5 queens every game. Pig has made 7.
He wanted to one-up Tudming.
This is almost the point of saying some kind of Nidus attack.
It could be. It absolutely could be. I mean, they're... maybe he's just being super safe. Phoenix is now coming into the back and doing some good damage. Let's take a look at workers killed. 7 in total.
Yep.
And income tab showing 62 to 54. Harvester 66 to 54 in favor of the Zerg.
Burrow, roach speed, +2 attack, and oh no! The queen will never die because there's a million transfusions existing. And the infestation pit going down immediately. Pig perhaps thinking about another swarm host game.
I wouldn't be surprised. Right now, a third is being taken, although Pig has not scouted that happening, which is going to be critical. Pig should be on top of this and should be seeing this coming, because...
Could be an Overlord here and a Zergling here. Maybe not an Overlord,
not an
these
Overlord,
Phoenixes,
yeah.
But certainly a Zergling.
You need to verify if this is a 2-base all-in directly after Phoenixes or not. We know that it's not an all-in, but Pig hasn't yet identified that's coming. And if you knew that was an all-in coming, you would react very, very differently. So
very cute. Burrows the drone to keep it safe.
That Burrow, Pig listens to you in all matchups.
He know.
He know. He did done know.
He know. Pathogen glands is the upgrade of choice. So Roach Infester, an interesting army composition here, one that we haven't seen in ZVP in a little while.
I would say so.
It used to be the absolute standard.
But,
here we see the great migration of the Overlord.
Phoenix is still doing a fantastic job now scouting out the 4th base that's in the corner. This corner expansion is going to actually work out so well for both Pig
Love this expo.
for Crank.
So good. This is just one of my favorite parts of the design of this map. I like this map a lot. The Phoenixes are continuing to be very, very annoying, picking off more and more drones. I swear, Crank gets so many kills with his Phoenixes, so many more than any other Protoss player seems to.
That's 12 kills so far. Income tab shows 73 to 67.
Pig could probably avert a lot of this if he'd just make an extra spine crawler or spore crawler at each base. Spines would not help.
No. But even spore crawlers, they don't kill Phoenixes that fast.
And they do have limited coverage.
I think we should change Phoenixes to biological.
Really?
No.
I'm just glad that they're not Corsairs.
That's true.
Because this would be a bad day for the noble
Very
Overlord.
bad day. Very bad day. Feudalist. If you thought
Phoenixes
were a counter.
Yeah.
Oh my
Let me introduce you to the Corsair. Once again, the Locust upgrade is a building. Where's that infestation pit?
Just click the
Oh,
Locust.
there it is. I did, and it didn't move me.
Oh.
Ah, there we go.
Yes, sir. And Tunneling Claw is just about to finish. We got some mobile roaches all the way on the mid-right, and just like that, he moves. He
moves in mysterious ways.
You move. Just like that. Hit me.
Actually, he's not moving at all. These roaches just kind of chilling out underground. Crank on the move. Speaking of moving, as he's got 4 Colossi, a few Phoenixes, and a reasonable number of Stalkers and Sentries. Gonna be caught a little bit off guard by this counterattack, though. Just kill that cannon, bro.
Big warp in of Stalkers, and he just focuses it
That's
down.
a great counterattack.
Burrows, and he is out of there. Oh, I love this. A small pack of roaches are going to go up to the top right.
A little bit of cuteness, a little bit of shenanigans, a little bit of tomfoolery.
A lot of bit of shenanigans, let's be honest.
This base, of course, immediately rebuilt. The army of Crank not far out of position will be able to stop repeat attempt at base cancellation. Crank at 190 supply is pretty much in a position to get aggressive if he chooses to do so. And swarm hosts are They are coming. 9 of them on the way.
What does he do in this position? I have to feel like when you don't have infrastructure and an economic lead, you almost always have to go for, oh wait, roaches right underneath.
Ouch. 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 Okay, makes room for 13 more drones.
Hey,
It's an
it's the
interesting
recycle. That's look, next to those 13 drones, it's 8 spine crawlers.
Roach aggression continuing to be a little bit frustrating, coming down from both sides. And picking off a couple more stalkers here, as we see Crank gearing up for his first big push. Fungal
Great fungal.
does blanket a lot of stalkers. I'm not sure what it actually achieves, though. Just a little bit of shield damage.
And Crank, he's kind of forced into doing this. And just pushing
Man,
very,
so much
very
fungal.
vehemently.
Actually, that damage is starting to add up a little bit. Stalkers getting down into the yellow, into the orange. And a Colossus dying to a spine crawler.
When do you see that, huh, Ben?
Very seldom. Crank realizing that that attack is not going to bear fruit. It's going to have to back off. And this time we got a bit of a mix-up here. Much faster Greater Spire this time around.
Oh, he forgot Thermal Lance.
No.
Oh, look at the production tab.
No! No wonder a Colossus died to a spine crawler. That is when you see that happen. A large mistake.
Oh, that is such a shame.
Regardless, I don't think even with Thermal Lance that attack is any more
I
successful.
agree. I think it's very, very difficult for that to work.
Yeah.
Crank, is he going to continue doing this, though? That's the question.
So I need some clarity on our bet.
There's
9
8
gateways when the game ends, or
When the
9
game
gateways
ends.
built?
I said when the game ends.
So he could kill gateways.
Yes.
Got it.
Uh-oh. That's a lot of corruptors there.
And that's a lot of good fungal on these stalkers as well, and more good fungals are going to go down. Although there's not much reinforcing, Swarm Host kind of flanking with these locusts are going to pick off some of these low-ground stalkers.
Man, Pig is playing super, super smart.
He is indeed, and he finds himself right now maxed out against a Protoss player with just 150 supply, although both players with plenty of bank to spare. Where are you going, stalkers?
They're going nowhere. Boink, boink, boink. Oh, he's going somewhere. All right.
Making a great escape. Nope.
Well,
It's a stalker head. Just popped right off.
just melded into the ground.
Absorbed by the creep. He's been assimilated. Roaches continuing to make their way around the map and just be as annoying as they can be. Did he see the warp prism?
Yes, it.
Maybe.
No.
We saw Crank's vision.
Yeah.
We did not see Big's vision there. Oops.
But great.
But
look
hey,
at
you know
that.
what? Even if that warp prism is going to make its way into this base, I got to tell you, I feel for Protoss players that have to cope with these kinds of styles. This is very difficult
hard,
to
man.
play against.
It is really hard. You have to be kind of sidesteppy about this.
Oh, this is going to hurt. All these stalkers are dead. As they're
But
going
that's
to be locked down right on top of some swarm hosts.
I'm actually going to say that was actually better to do, to kill the infestors, because the infestors are the ones that empower this composition. Right now, there's not a good way to aggress forward because the infestors are saying, hey, why don't you just stay there? Why don't you just get locked in and my locusts can just have free reign on you? And by killing the infestors, yes, you're trading out stalkers, but I can instantly get back my stalkers with some warp gates.
First Brood Lords are finally in play. A couple more soon to be joining the mix. So we are going to have the Siege of the Free Stuff coming down onto this third expansion. This is going to be tough for Crank to deal with. Locusts and Broodlings.
Yeah. I don't know what he can do at this point. Photon Overcharge is going to be used. He has to give up this base altogether. And that doesn't bode well because that's 2 gateways that I would love to have.
That is going to detract from your gateway count, I fear. Pig's looking pretty strong. He's chosen a very difficult playstyle for Protoss to cope with, and Crank is definitely struggling to find the right answer. Broodlord's going to continue to march forward. Broodlings and Locusts combining for just obscene efficiency.
Oh, great fungal growth right there, locking a lot of the units down. Again, enabling everything else. And I think Crank's just going to go for it right now. His High Templars are a little bit late and not in the right position. He needs to deny those infestors. He blinks up, tries to blink underneath the Broodlords. It's doing well, but the Locust pops.
No, there's no...
Well, Ben, these are Korean stalkers. Talked about these Korean stalkers a while ago with MC.
Well, there's not going to be many Korean stalkers left here in a second, Andre.
Or so you think.
Just like there's not going to be many Korean colossi left in a second. As the Locust managed to spawn one more wave, Corruptors will pick off a couple more colossi. And this base, while it's been saved for now, is still under a lot of pressure. Look at the supplies. 175 supply for Pig, 112 supply for Crank. There was a Warp Prism down here. This Corruptor managed to deal with it.
Looks like he's just going to retract from here. So, wow. Crank was able to hold it off. Killed a lot of Broodlords, but we all know he's pretty far behind, especially with an attack happening. What's going on? Roaches into the main base of Crank, I think, right now?
Ling's actually. A little bit of a Zergling run by. Going to try to get a couple of pylons whilst this attack continues over here on the third base. Oh, hello, Roaches. Getting right on top of one of those Colossi. Archon's also going to go down very quickly. Meanwhile, Locust doing a great job of thinning out the Stalker count. And yes, that is going to be the last Colossus going down. Crank is in a lot of trouble, Andre. I don't think there's any bouncing back from this one. He finds himself down 100 supply against a maxed out Zerg.
Yeah, I don't think so
with
either.
Only about 6 gateways.
8 gateways.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I count 7.
There's 6 in the main.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Unpowered
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Man, that's just like invisible to me. 7, 8.
Loses the base, but I mean, we knew this was going to happen. Just going to recede all the way back.
Quick, Crank, build 2 gates.
Build 1 gate.
Looking a little bit grim.
You have the under, Ben. You shouldn't be.
I just don't like to see my friends lose.
That's so nice. So yeah, let's go for 9. Have a push. Okay, so he has connected again. Does he have money? Not really. It's 200 to a max to a 140 supply, and Stalkers are not the best units. Let me tell you.
Not in this situation, at least. As Locusts continue to batter at the gates. Crank has been backed into a corner, man. Stuck between a very difficult Zerg army and the edge of the map. And there's just that's a cliff face, man. If he jumps off that, he's gonna die.
Locusts are going to be redistributed into the natural just yet again. Oh, and he kills another gateway. Life is hard.
Sad day to be a gateway. Sad day to be Crank, who's about to find himself down 0-2 against Pig, a result that I don't think many people would have predicted.
Oh, no feedback. Oh, gosh. That's brutal.
Oh, yeah, it's good storms on the Locust. And nice. At least 4 of those Templar do live to fight another day as Archons.
So, and this is his time. He has to go right now. Does he have an Observer? No, he doesn't. Unfortunately, he lost a lot of time on that, too. And, well...
Now, Crank's doing surprisingly well in this fight. The issue, though, is that Pig hasn't been building units for a long time. He just got +2 flyer attack. I think we might see 40 mutas.
That would be overwhelmingly scary. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like that. Now, blinking on
maybe
top.
We'll see 30 roaches.
Oh, he doesn't have any observers here. Does he have observers in the unit tab? Let me check. Yes, he has 1. He's going to consistently give chase until these swarm hosts have no choice but to unburrow and show themselves.
Actually, Crank really making the most of this small group of units.
Yeah.
He's
really
battered back his opponent, but
I
still don't know how he's supposed to get through all the static D, and he still doesn't have a 4th expansion. Tough. He's mined out his natural. He's just working on 1 base right now, Andre.
I think the only way to really get back into this is to like build 9 gateways.
But did you forget observers? Because I did not forget tunneling claws.
And down go all 3 Colossus in simultaneity.
Yes, simultaneity.
Isn't that the word?
Yep.
Why are you hating on me, Ben?
I'm not.
You're big hating.
I like it when things happen simultaneously.
Simultaneously?
There you go. As the Colossi have fallen, the Archon has fallen, all that remains are Stalkers. They're doing some pretty good work. With +3, +2. But,
okay. Killing a base. But we look at the bank and it's just absurd, right? Like, that's what it comes down to. How do you deal with a bank so large? when you're relegated to just blink stalkers, and there's going to be fungals that pop on that guarantees kills, additional roachers coming through.
I don't think that Pig has been injecting very well. 'Cause he just doesn't feel like he's having big waves of units.
Yeah, but
it doesn't even really
doesn't
matter at
matter,
this
yeah.
point, as he's cleaning up.
everything.
Yep.
Absolutely everything.
Cleaning up the last of it. These roaches, +3 attack, no armor. Just lots and lots of attack.
Finally being backed up all the way to the base, though. There are a lot of... Actually, there's just one base economy right now for Pig. So if somehow Crank can stop a 200 army.
But only... Wait, he's not even mining anywhere, really. Look, this is
bottom left.
basically mined out.
He has to get the bottom, the mid right. It's like the only place. So maybe Crank can do it. I'm not gonna take.
He's gonna have to be unbelievably efficient with this Blink Stalker only army. 16 Stalkers is all that stands between Crank and an 0-2 deficit to Australian Zerg player Pig, who has shown
great Swarm host style, honestly. And
great
he's
patience and fortitude.
He's also relentless with it. I do want to mention this game around when it's a lot more even. He's shown that he's willing to put the pressure on really, really fast, as opposed to game number 1, where it was just, okay, I'm so far behind, I'm just going to sit back and wait for you to die. So Pig has shown an extraordinary amount of versatility.
Good
with
stuff out of Crank. He's going to pick off another base here. Well, maybe.
Well,
it's going to be
I don't
close.
think so.
Had he just right-clicked on the hatch and gotten out of there, then maybe. As it stands, he took a bit too much time.
And the Broodlords are making their slow waddle up onto that base in the mid-right-hand position.
There they are.
Life is not going to be good for Mr. Crank.
The graceful Broodlord.
Like, how can you stay up with that flap? You're so fat.
Lots of surface area. Perhaps the final fight of this game. Roaches making sure that the Broodlords are in range of the action. GG, says Crank, and Pig is going to go up 2-0. I would not have predicted that, but I also would not have predicted this playstyle out of Pig, which is proving brutally effective against Crank, who is now 1 game away from elimination from Season 1 of 2014's Premier League.
That's what it comes down to. I think he's playing it really well, too. It's hard to play Swarm host style, even though people, they rag on it a little bit, but you have to be very comprehensive, get a lot of static defense, know where your weaknesses are, and then also manage the army, which is tough. I'm not saying it's the hardest thing to do. I'm not saying it's TVP, mech versus versus Protoss, but
Mech versus Toss.
But it's still really, really difficult. And we're going to find out if Crank can come back.
Short break, guys. But before we go, I want to get your opinions on the Swarm host style in Zerg versus Protoss. Send us some tweets at Mr. Bitter TV, at Greetor. What do you think about the Swarm host play that we're seeing out of Pig? And is it going to carry him through to the Premier League? And will it work when he makes it into the Premier League, if he makes it into the Premier League? At StarCraft, at Mr. Bitter TV, at Greetorp. We'll see you in just a second with game number 3 between these two great players.